Én nagyon szépen köszönöm a lehetőséget, azt tényleg nagyon hálás vagyok, hogy itt tudok együtt tanulni egymástól. Igazi rendes magyar nem tökéletesen ismerem, azért a legtöbb előadás angolul lesz. Röviden sajátról szeretnék beszélni. Körülbelül 20 év tapasztalatom van a tanáripályán, és elég fiatal voltam, ha jól emlékszem, de most elég idős tanárpatsi vagyok, és sokat elfelejtettem is. Ha jól emlékszem, lehet, hogy 10 éves kor úgy gondolkoztam, hogy orvos vagy tanár, és úgy néz ki, hogy tanár lett, de mindenki ismeri, hogy ott a tanári pályán nem mindig vagyok biztos, hogy a tanárok vagyunk, vagy a rendőrök, vagy orvosok, vagy mit kellett lenni, de és körülbelül 10-12 év ezelőtt olyan frusztráció jött, hogy úgy éreztem, hogy miért nekem kellett 5 évig egyetemen tanulni, és éreztem, hogy nem tudok annyira sokat segíteni gyerekek, amit akarok, és mire szükségre van. És onnan kezdett, és kicsit más pedagógia, és nagyon hálás vagyok az a kollégámnak, meg az környezetben, hol dolgoztam, hogy nekem mindig volt lehetőség hibázni. Mindig éreztem, hogy nekünk egymás kollégám között nem volt olyan verseny, hogy ki csinálja, hogyan ki csinálja ilyenet, és mindenki tudja, én is tudom, hogy sokszor hibáztam, és ilyen környezetben kellett dolgozni, hogy saját magán jól biztonságos helyzet tudsz érezni. Az is fontos, hogy egy kicsit magyar használom, mert egész estére nem ráérök itt lenni, és fordítás az dupla időt tart. De lehet, hogy mostól fordítsunk angolra. És még egyszer nagyon szépen köszönöm a meghívást, tényleg nagyon hálás vagyok, hogy először itt vagyok a Csíkszeredában, és az tényleg az nagyon gyönyörű, tai nagyon gyönyörű minden, ami eddig láttam itt, és éreztem. I won't explain everything, but those words what you see on the screen are one of the bases I think we all agree to create it in the classroom, and I think any of the words has nothing to do with the resources we have or the system we are in or the country we are teaching. There is so much thing we can do no matter in which culture is dominating in our workplace or in our countries. Juho. My first teacher's position in Jyväskylä was started 17 years ago. I was a young teacher at that time, and later on it really started to surprise me that when my students from my class, our school, left the school, I started to see a lot of things what I couldn't see in many years in the school, and that started to make me think that how can I find every children? Juho was one of the students after he left our school. I saw articles from the newspaper, from TV, and how talented he was. I was playing serious sports in 4 different sport clubs, and his talent was doing with the atletica, with the sports, and I felt really sorry, and I was actually a little angry myself that even I couldn't find the potential or the talent in Juho's life in the period of 3 years. And when I see Juho smiling, being alive, and most importantly, being himself. He was a student, he never ever caused any problems. He was the one shy boy in the corner, he was doing his homework, and someone might think that he's the perfect student, not causing any interaction. Now we are in a conference which is called Creativity. I think here when we watch the video we can really talk about creativity. What we saw in the video was only well done tricks with the skis. Probably many of you were thinking that how many times he has practiced, how much it needed persistency. He had a goal, he wants to learn some trick. And I felt that often the challenge or the problem in the school is the kids just try to answer or do the things the way to please the teacher. And this is why I think it's absolutely the most important thing to create such an atmosphere that you can feel safe and you can build your own identity. Quickly referring Albert Einstein, we all know that joy makes a huge difference in our lives. Same with the John Lennon, and I will later on come to the really situation which has happened that he was about the happy, and there was a little contradiction with his idea and the teacher's idea. Probably 10 years ago, I started to develop and think how I can manage as a teacher, as an educator, to work in my class, no matter what the circumstances are, to find the unseen part of the children. And this iceberg is describing that we usually see the 10% of the kids and they are the actions. And my idea was start to go deeper and see what is really causing the way they behave. And I started to think that what kind of ways me as a simple teacher could develop, do something, help more, not just be so cautious about the specific subject I teach, but to see in a bigger, in a more holistic view. And of course, the importance between parents and teacher is so important. What I have done, I actually require quite many times a year as many parents as possible to come to the school, see what's happening with their kids if possible. I share quickly a story of another student. This time I was the principal in my school. We had at this time about 200 students, and this one specific girl, she had tremendous problems which were already has started it many years ago. And probably half of the time when she was through the 7th, 8th, or 9th grade, she could participate in school. And such children, oftentimes, if you have any problems or challenge, what kind of relationship you have with the school, it's often negative. And that was about her. 3 years, almost every interaction with the school had to include some negative things. I believe it was the last day of the school when she was a 9th grader, so she was actually finishing the compulsory schooling in Finland. She was knocking to my office door and just handed out this picture. And I said, please come in, sit down, and what is this all about? And I asked, have you really painted it? And she goes, sure. I asked our art teachers, other teachers who have been teaching her that have you found the talent she has? And she said that she watched 9-minute tutorial from YouTube how to paint. I think we had a slide before from quoting from Platon. It made me think that it was kind of reflection from the previous presentation that how much we as a school could gain, could give or benefit that girl's life. She basically only said that she wants to leave at least one positive memory from her. And she wasn't my student, but I felt that something really changed in me as a teacher or as an educator, or how I should run the school or how I should behave and what kind of relationships I should build with the students. If you have visited Jyväskylä, these are quite famous stairs, also called as a stairs of knowledge. And why I have this specific picture, nema ser tot ideus tanari paatsi od vana kepen, eikä rendes magyar lehet fordítani. Joo, no, me jung tapaama. But I felt that because I had applied some application to get some money to develop what I was doing, but I never get any money. And I saw how much universities and the EU is pushing money for different research, which is of course important. And it started to make me think that we already have so much information that at least what I'm doing from my position, I don't need any more research results, how we lead the kids for the better future. And with the all knowledge, with the all information, the internet is full, the books are full, how we change that information into action, what will really change lives. And then I started to build a system that I started to monitor children, basically anything, of course, with the permission of their parents, and as you can read what I was doing, for example. And I started to understand I had so many students with different diagnoses. And after, with the parents' allowance, we started to change their lifestyle. And honestly, I can say that majority of the challenges disappeared. When you see the slides, it means that the slide, the upper slide, is reflecting the activity level of the 5th graders, and the one below is reflecting the average activity in the 8th graders in the school time, during the school time. One kilometer. And often we say that we cannot do many things as a school. And for example, what we changed, when you see here the activity levels, they are high. We changed the school rhythm. Regenben nekünk volt csak 15 percszünet, és utána úgy csináltunk, hogy legyen 30 vagy 25 perc, és következő rövidebb. És that meant that kids have much more motivation to go out and they actually have time to play. It's not about competition, that we focus for the individual children, and we believe, as Aki Hintsa quoting, that the success is coming basically automatically, and that is really decreasing also the stress. We could speak a lot, and what I talk about now, I could say the same things to any audience in the world. What bothers me from PISA results or any other results when we compare the education globally. In my opinion, PISA shows only little part of the whole. There is not too famous to advertise what is the suicide rate, what is the social exclusion, what is the dropout rates. All have heard from the news in Asia, Hong Kong, Shanghai, South Korea, many other, when the students who has the possibility study 70 hours a week. And I'm asking myself, that is that the ideal for the children? And probably it's also surprising to hear that In Finland, we are 5.5 million people. The social exclusion rate is more than 20% in our country. Almost 900,000 people is under the risk of social exclusion according to the research. And this is not much less than the average in generally in Europe. And almost 60,000-70,000 in Finland have been already excluded from the social system. And I'm not worried about that it cost 1 million euro for our taxpayers, but I'm more interested that what is happening in our country. Then I started to measure stress levels a little bit deeper. I felt that I didn't get enough information, so I went a bit deeper. From this slide I could talk maybe an hour, but I tried to make it in 2 minutes. When the children have physical education or they have their sport hour just before they go to bed, they will sleep, but there is no recovery. The red shows the stress level and what happened here, why this specific girl had so high stress level. What time? This is maybe 4:30 or so. And I started to found when I was researching and trying and all the system I was developing in the meantime. And I find out that I also had some students in my class that the main pressure comes from their parents. And I was lucky enough that the whole family wanted to be wearing this monitoring or sensors to kind of focus deeper for the whole family. What happened here, the girl was studying in her room and everything went well until one parent came, took the book, tomorrow you have a test. Now we study together the whole night. And the next day, there is the exam. And that was one of the most difficult students I had. I didn't understand that why she was speaking so negatively to me, why we didn't connect at all. And I understood that in this test, regular test, she cannot show what she has really learned. And when she understood that now me as a teacher understand her better and understand her difficulties, our relationship changed completely. And this picture unfortunately reflects the energy level or the focus what our students have in Finland. The idea is that when it starts, so there's days Csíkszereda, so this line, when it starts after the morning, it should be on the same level. But as we see, by the end of the week, they are totally wasted. I don't want to compare people to the machines, but we know that if there are machines in the factory and the machine would not work 100%, they will fix it or replace it for the new one. I'm not saying that we as a people should work 100%, nobody knows what that means, but I try to explain that the kids they are not well in the classes, they cannot use just a little part of the potential they would have. And if the starting point is that they are already so tired and they haven't done their homework, and when I started to understand that, so I even started to bring some mattresses to my class, and I understood the situation. I just, please go to bed. That's the best I can offer you now. We have no history, we have no mathematics for you or anything else. And of course, we as adults understand that this is the parents' responsibility. But of course, we cannot point the children that why you late, why you did this, because often behind that, it was the kids, it was not the kids' choice. And then I go quite quickly, you will have these slides later on if you like, but I started to build a system that how I teach them well-being, how they learn to lead it, and how they can comprehend with different environments. And here just a question, we don't go through that, but just showing you what I started to do. And then I come up with this kind of picture, and now I try to explain it, what I mean by it. When I was a kid, and that's a long time ago, we did not have too many environments to be in. Outside, inside, friends, school. Paddled my bike 10 kilometers to ring the bell if my friend is home. No, driving in other kilometers. We didn't have this word stress at this time, at least in the same context that we are talking about nowadays. So for a bit deeper, what I have trying to do as a class teacher, because a children, this information about child is so fragmented. And I come up with the idea that how could I build, integrated in the school system, a monitoring system for some weeks that teachers, principal, parents, trainers, whoever the kids are involved with would have the same information at the same time. Because here, all of these, what you see, the words in these little balls, they don't interact, they don't talk with one of others. And this information of this little boy or girl, a person, a little bit, a lot here, a little bit here, 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 here. And actually, the research shows, and that's a global challenge, and in Finland, it's less than 30 minutes how much the children spend daily time with their parents. And spending time means if you eat together and when you do actually something together. And if we separate this a little bit smaller pieces, if they sleep 8-9 hours, probably less, but if they spend 8 to 9 hours in social media in different services, whether they are virtual or with different application and so on. And the challenge is what are the values on those environments. This is not supposed to be a joke, but and I'm not definitely representing Nokia today, but if you remember what was the ad for Nokia, they said Nokia connecting people, disconnect. We understand we have relatives over the seas we connect, yes, but I meant of course a bit deeper relationship. The child has to be the center in education. And as I write here that the well-being is so strongly connected to basically anything what's happening in the school or any other environments. We go quite quickly, but I was not satisfied for the graphics what already exist. The first one was from Polar Active Monitoring System. With the stress was with first speed technology. So I made my own. These pillars means that the blue means weekdays, and the green means weekends or holidays. Okay, here I can see the average when they go to sleep, and if this line is changing a lot, and research shows that it's way more important that the sleeping rhythm is about the same rather than the length of the sleep. Here is another what shows the blue different level of the activities. And please don't think that, okay, I cannot do that. My message is not that we have to create just a system. It's just I was so excited to know deeper how can I help the students. So the pillars are individual days, and so the blue is light activity, and the orange is more intermediate, a bit harder, and the red one is very strong activity. And here I can see the whole day. The green here reflects the length of the sleep, and then comes on the top different activities throughout the day. And there's possibility to a calendar. I see it shows the time when they went to sleep, what time they wake up, and they can make their own notes throughout the day. And this means that when 20-25 kids come to my class on Monday morning, I can see in one view how full is the energy of the kids. And there is subjective monitoring and objective monitoring. They are wearing a sensor, and in daily basis they are answering for some questions. It's about nutrition, so food, the quantity and the rhythm, friends, parents, relationships. And of course, from the objective monitoring, I can see minute by minute the activity level, what time they went to bed, was it restful night or not. Okay, we don't go deeper, but I just want to show that this has been now under development for 4 years, and I think now I have found could develop a tool for teachers or many other to help to lead people towards a healthier life. Equality was something I never liked it because I somehow understood that it means same thing for everyone, and then I started to like to use the word what is fair because of understanding that the circumstances for the children are so different. And next one, there's a picture which probably shows more what I try to explain here. If we think of a class and there is certain amount of resources to help the children, and I think it's great that we can help the children who really need help. But often what has happened, the 1 or 2 children takes all the resources from the other class. And here I just want to start to make you think that how we could better help every individual to be named equally, if we mean equality by that, but to be fair for everyone. We have very fast learners as well. What do we do with them? As I mentioned earlier, that what I have been doing, there has been so many research results already. World Health Organization knew this already 20 years ago. And now comes something that everybody doesn't like in Finland if I speak about PISA. It's true that we have done well in the PISA results, but I pretty much agree with Kari Uusikylä that the work was done in the 1970 and 1980. This is not so complicated. The main message was to teach children to study and be human. I think this is probably one of the biggest challenges for the teachers, that how we can pass this kind of atmosphere that we don't define the children by their achievements. What we have to do, and this is not a resource question, this is not about the school system question, how we make an encounter, how we meet the children, that he feels that he's someone special, that there is 7 billion other people in the world, but there is none like you. We know, and this is where I want to congratulate all of us, teachers or educators, that our job is so important and it's not an easy job. And I'm a little afraid that this is happening nowadays, and I really understand and believe the meaning of technology and how we can use that, but I feel that there is no more balance how we build ourselves and which part the technology should play. This is not, well, Martin Luther King, and that has been some years ago when he said this, but I don't know if you agree with me, but the controversy, it seems that the kids get so not just angry, depressive, aggressive in such a short period of time. We know the Maslow hierarchy, and you have seen the wits that nowadays it's Maslow plus Wi-Fi. And my worry is what happens to the children when there is no Wi-Fi, there is no technology around them, and then we really measure what happens, what are the future skills. This is the hot theme globally, what the schools should teach to the children. And I don't even want to start to explain that probably what this ordinary normaalis minden napi eilet altalapa jelenti. We had a similar example here before, and a kulskeerdees itwan mit folk törteni követkesik. We can start to build a connection here, or we can break it. We can build or we can break, and this is one of the future skills what I personally would like to advertise the meaning of relationships. I just took a copy of one research which is addressing the meaning of social and emotional intelligence and the skills in the school environment as well. And just another research result which is proving more the importance with skills, and even I'm focusing totally for these skills, but it doesn't mean that technology is bad. We saw before excellent presentation and the importance of the use of technology, of course. You have probably heard the Chinese quote which says that one generation plants the trees and the other generation gets the shade. And this is a question for all of us, of course. This is just one example what has happened through this method, what I have been trying to develop in the past year. So this was the starting, and the kids wanted to make on their own. They chose what was challenging them, what they would like to change, and after the program, and this is showing the results. And this specific kid chose the activity. You could choose nutrition, sleep, or basically many other things. And the results are not only seeing and the motivation, which is one of the most important, of course, but there's also a proof in academic achievements. The first green pillar represents the starting level of the specific group, and these are the averages of each exams, and by the end of the year, the difference in this specific subject math was 1.3 in grades. And I will just pass. We probably agree with this one as well. And this is repeating what I have already said, but when we are looking for the future, that we cannot afford to lose any of our citizens. And of course, there is no such a one solution. Like I said to someone that artificial intelligence or internet has all the information possible available, but it cannot fix the global warming, it cannot fix many other things as well. And so we as a human, we have a huge part in many cases, and this is why I would invest in individuals. Gratulálunk még senki nem aludia egy 5 perc. I want to show one, actually this was the first research results what has to do with the smartphones and the screen time. 11,000 students, and only 5% of them meet the expert recommendations in sleep, screen time, and exercise, as you can. And this could be applied in most countries. I just came from India a month ago, and the numbers are pretty much the same. In New Delhi, I was walking in the bazaars, and I felt like I'm living in the 1500s, not only because I'm so old, but the contradiction when I took the metro, and I didn't see any difference whether I'm in India, Finland, Hungary, North America. Everybody, from the younger one and older one, were looking at the loved ones, the phone. And this is not the challenge just for the kids. It is much for our generation. Too often I hear, oh, it's easy to you to say you come from Finland and you have this and that. But I would like to refresh thinking of this specific question. Even we have research, we have results, but if the political values are against, there is value conflict. We as a teachers, I think no matter which system we are in, we can do a lot. We can influence for the most important part of the child. For the last, probably some of you have seen this short video clip of my class, and I really want to address that this is not that, look what I have achieved or done, but after you have seen it, I want to explain it shortly, that what I would like you to see on this video clip. I have received over 20,000 comments. I checked that there is 3.7 million viewers, and it has been pretty interesting to see what people start to think, and that's kind of the one idea, that people start to talk. They want to be proud of their they work, and mainly we as a teachers. No, 3 years ago when I started with this group, there was nothing in this classroom. So it's more reflecting what can happen when we can motivate the kids, when we can set their own candles. Not just burning the teacher's candle, but get everybody interested of learning. And none of these, you see this maybe unordinary things in the classroom. It was not started that I wanted to surprise the children, that I bought something, brought it to the classroom, and next morning I surprised them that please start to like the things I brought it for you. No. Every equipment you see has started from the kids' innovation, from their idea. And I was positive for the ideas. For the treadmill, where they were walking or running, they worked for a year and a half to get the money. We didn't get them for free, they worked for it. And we had criteria that if it doesn't make our class atmosphere better, if you don't become more motivated, if it's not seen on our school culture or achievements in the different subjects, if it's not benefiting our learning, then we take them away. Mid-souls. And absolutely, I want to say that this is not that you should do something like that. It has definitely nothing to do with that. When we made this video, we were not even thinking to put it on the internet. Thank you, Thomas. This idea just came to me while I was sitting in the bench this morning, and Thomas helped me to translate it. But if you think as a teacher, or as a person, anybody, and if people you are around with think of you like this, you have really achieved something really precious. When we go to the classroom, whatever you do with the kid, I think we all have the ability to make good relationship. And to wrap it up, the main message what I wanted to pass today is make good connection with your students, with the people you are around with. And there is a trend that teachers would be replaced by robots or artificial intelligence, or even using with the emotional intelligence. But actually there's already research shown that teachers are invaluable. Nagyon szépen köszönöm a figyelmüket.